we're going to go to Singapore. Let's go to Singapore.
Hey.
Have you ever been to Singapore?
Many times. Beautiful place.
Gosh, I just think Singapore is awesome. And
I
we
love
have
it.
an awesome person joining us from Singapore right now is Angela. How are you?
Hi,
There
hi,
she is.
guys.
Good to see you. Good to see you. I'm going to get you squared up in the screen in 2 seconds here. Let me get you. There you go.
Yeah.
I'll get all squared. There you go.
I got half of my face gone.
Thank you for joining us. We so appreciate it. As I said, you're in Singapore. And what time is it there now? You're joining us here this morning.
Now it's 8:36 a.m. to be exact.
8:36. So you're actually into tomorrow morning. I'm still in Tuesday night. You're in Wednesday morning.
Yeah.
Don't tell me. Don't tell me the ending. Don't tell me the ending. I want to stick around for that.
Day.
It's going to be a beautiful day. Absolutely. Okay, I'm going to leave you right now with Stephen to ask you a question. You go right ahead.
Okay. The question that I'm going to have for you. Finally, we get to meet.
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, actually, for this question, I do not know whether is it considered a appropriate question, but basically, I've seen how you are able to kind of decipher. I don't know what is the word for it. When somebody come to you with a question at this point, you are just able to kind of break it down and put it into point forms, and for that for you to do that, I'm sure it's a gift. Yeah, it's not everyone can do it that way.
Flat out gift.
Yeah, and I also was just thinking that for you to do that, I think one of the so-called criteria or quality is to be very clear, to have clarity, and I think in life sometimes it's so important to have clarity, to be able to make a wise decision, and I would say that whenever, even for myself, if I do have clarity, I find that it's much easier for me to know what is the next step that I need to take. So I just thought that my question for you today would be, how do you get clarity? Yeah. I don't know if that
No.
yeah, because it's a bit weird. I know, but I thought
No, it's not.
yeah, it's something that will be beneficial, right, for every one of us to know how do you achieve that kind of clarity of thoughts, especially and especially in today's context where everything is being bombarded at you, and sometimes how do you actually do that?
Okay. I'll do without telling my story because many have heard it and we don't have time for it anyway. But the number one thing is you've got two options when it comes to burdens. You can actually use them as an excuse, or you can use them as a platform. All of the stuff, the picture of the car and all those types of things, divorce, suicide, all those types of bits and pieces that I mentioned, going emotionally bankrupt, which is devastating, financially bankrupt, which is painful, but it's not the same as emotional bankruptcy. Your burdens can either become excuses or become platforms. And if you use them as excuses, you'll never create clarity, ever. But if you use them as platforms to serve from, I hung upside down in a car because I thought I was useless. I drank a bottle of gin, put the roof down on a convertible, and I tried to kill myself because I thought I had no value. When I was first put into this world, I was the fifth son of a family that wanted to have a daughter. So they immediately tried to adopt a daughter instead of keeping me. So all of those things I used for 57 years, because that's how old I am. I know I don't look at Angela. 57 years, I actually kept asking myself why, until I got to a point in 2008 where I thought my assumption of other people's opinions was that I had nothing to offer them. And by a miracle, not only did I not get charged for that accident, I walked out and no one got hurt. So I got really, really clear 3 years later when a girl asked me what happened with the accident. And what did it mean, she asked me. And I said, and it just came into my head. a moment of clarity that redefined my life in 2011 when I said, my Maker valued me so much, he saved me for my own free will. I hung upside down in a car and survived so I could speak to you, Angela. That when I tell you, and for people who don't know Angela's work, she's probably the most articulate storyteller educator I know on LinkedIn. So if you're not following Angela's stuff, you should. So my first answer to your question is, what are the burdens you've had of your past? Those situations and relationships that didn't work, those children that didn't survive, and there's some people around Sadieland who have had that, even right down to 158-year-old infants that passed away. You'll either use them as an excuse or you'll use them as a platform. And when you use them as a platform, you'll get clarity. From clarity will come confidence. From confidence will come creativity. So, my number one point to you, what burdens have you had that give you such resolve to never give up? Because your focus is born from burdens. Most people that think their focus is like the Holy Grail. The other thing that's worthwhile doing, once you've got that section of focus, I'm on a mission to destroy doubt. I will just not allow people to doubt. So what are people saying about you? So once I decided that I was going to actually help people with this gift, because I tried to, you would think a bottle of gin, 150 k's an hour with the roof off on a convertible, you would think that the damage to that car would do it, and I survived. The irony is my lead finger on the videos is bent. That's the only damage I got. So the very first thing is your focus is born out of you understanding what your burdens in your life have been about. There's people watching this show that 30 years ago had their children's disrespected, and today, only this week, that particular individual sends me a note about what I'm doing by shifting her life. There are people watching this show that are soul shifters who lost their husband and lost their son, and now are starting to understand because of our work that they at 60 have a purpose for humanity. Their used by label is never going to go out until such time as it's time for them to leave this earth. So the very first thing is your focus is based on your definition of burden. Your burden is an excuse, then go and actually be a sook through the rest of your life. But your burden is a platform to serve from, and that will create your focus. Number one. So that's A. Got to use my red because we always do A. So A, Angela, what is the focus from the definition and meaning of your burdens? B is simply this. If you want to know how I'm doing this, and all my secrets are going to be given away, there are 3 keys, there are 5 steps, and there are 7 stages. And if you notice everything I do, today's opening, and there's 9 modules, which I won't go to 9 because it will take too long. Everything I talk about, you'll notice, is in 3s. Everything I talk about in terms of the admiration model we kick the show off with is 5. Everything is about stages. So when you give someone 3 keys, you're giving them, these are the 3 key things you need to do. You're giving them a vision. And people go, God, Steve, you're so insightful. Every time we listen to you talk, you just break things down. You're so insightful. Yes, because I understand what the burden of my life was and the focus it's given me. Then, what are the 3 key things that I need you to do, Angela? Vision. What are the 5 steps I need you to take? Progress. What are the 7 stages you need to go through? Monitoring. What would your life be like if you had a vision that you could progress through monitoring as you go? That's how I do it. I worked out what the focus of my burden was and what the meaning and definition of my life was. Then I worked out every time I'm going to speak to people, there will be 3 keys, 5 steps and 7 stages. So you will notice, everyone, and in Soul Shifters, as I know I think you're in, or you've been invited to come into it, everything I've been doing is on that previous chart, everyone. That's part of the reason Ash and everyone who and Kimberly and people like that, who I'm in pods with them and I've not been commenting as much, sorry guys, because I've been building the foundation of everything. And once that's built, which it's now almost finished, we're in a situation of what we're going to be putting in what are the 3 keys to storytelling? What are the 3 keys of public speaking? What are the 5 steps you need to take to mindset mastery? What are the 7 stages of writing a video script? I'm on a mission to make sure humanity doesn't realise we're not any different to each other. We all can love each other if we admire who we are first. So number 1, the burden the burdens of your life become focused to serve and as platforms. Everything you do, and this is one of the things you do, Angela, and you don't realize it, which is why I compliment your content, you're always providing education story. Or what I would encourage you to do is start giving a summary at the end. These are the 3 key things you need to do. You don't have to say 3 keys. It needs to be bang, bang, and bang. Even the way, and I call this view path scanning, even the way I write copy inside of content. So inside of comments, I'll actually post a comment on someone's post that I really think's great stuff. I'll take a screenshot of it and post my comment, and sometimes get more comments than the person's original post. But by the way, I always link to it. Okay? So one of the things, that's the first thing you need to do is focus. The second thing you need to do is package. And the third thing, forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for getting it wrong. Forgive yourself for not being present as much as you should be. Forgive yourself for sometimes thinking, God, why can't I get more comments on my videos? I think that. How come I can't get more views sometimes? But then I realize I don't care. So last night's post, a 7-minute video on LinkedIn, got about 200 views. We do a thing called traction ratio that the Desadie Angels track for me. We work out how many comments, how many views, and we work out a percentage of traction. Last night's post, even though it had only a couple of hundred views, had somewhere in the vicinity of 24 to 25% traction ratio. Other people are getting 5,000 views and getting 1.6. I'm not after followers. I'm after you to follow yourself. By being focused on the challenges you've had in your life, by structuring the way you articulate your mission, and by forgiving yourself for those times when envy or anger or frustration or doubt creep into your life, because every single day they creep into mine.
Okay.
That's how I do it.
Wow. That do you see do you see that, Angela? Like, and Stephen, I got to tell you, I love this and I've never noticed that. Why? I don't know where I've just been consuming your content.
Secret's out.
I'm too busy consuming your content. Right, Angela? I was thinking, I didn't notice 357, but now that he says it, I'm like,
the admire model was 5. The addiction to opinions. So it's 3 keys: vision, 5 steps progress, 7 stages monitor, 9 modules. Everything, 3, 5, 7, and 9. Everything. It's called the power of primes. So guess what? There was 9 behavioural engagements. There was 5 steps to the admire. These are the 3 things for vision. Angela, have focus, package up your expertise, and forgive yourself. That's what it is.
Wow. Now that's clarity. Yeah, now if that's not the definition of clarity, Angela, I'm not sure what it is.
Yeah, it's not what I expected.
No, I didn't know where it was going either. I know what you mean by that. I was thinking, where's he going with this? But it's like, oh, that makes so much sense to me. So, Angela, go ahead. Sorry,
but just quickly, how many fingers in front of our face every single day? 10.
Yeah.
So what typically happens, and there's a whole bunch of psychology around this. It's why I call it the power of primes inside the academy. And you'll see everything inside the academy is 357. It's everywhere. We have 10 digits in front of our hands, in front of our faces most of the time, I should say. So if I said to you, how much is 3 oranges? Oh, yeah, I get it. How many is 5 oranges? Yeah, I get it. How much is a third of an orange? Yeah, kinda. What if I said, how many is 16 oranges? You'd put your hand out and all of a sudden you're switching off. If I said, what's 1/16 of an orange? Oh, that's too hard. But if I told you what 3 oranges look like, you can get it pretty clear in your head. If I tell you the 3 keys to public speaking ease is having great confidence, great content, and great competence, bang, bang, bang. If I tell you the great thing about how I do what I do, yes, it's a gift, but what I did with the gift is I focused on where I got it from. I packaged up my expertise and forgave myself and others on the journey of life. Bang, bang, bang. Now everyone's sitting there going, the 3 keys of public speaking ease is confidence, content, and competence. Yep. Boom. Everyone walk down the shopping malls wherever you are in the world and watch how it's always 1, 2, 3. Just do it in the Nike logo. It's everywhere. Yeah. Because the human brain can absorb the power of primes, 3, 5, 7, 9, and that's about it.
Yeah. Well, I can
your content, Angela, just needs to have this in it. Start putting the three. So write beautifully as you do, and then at the end, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah. I relate to that from a video creative perspective. You know, it's the intro, middle, and outro kind of thing. It's all those kinds of things.
Yep.
Angela, listen, that was a great question. Clarity. I mean, that's a big subject. And so can you stick around for a couple seconds with us? We're going to see, we're going to come back to you and bring you back in at the end. And
Stay gorgeous. Thank you.
Stay with